Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful day and a good start to it. We sure appreciate you guys coming on, and thanks for doing that. And we'll say hello to some of our friends as we do the Romper Room roll call. Brahim, number one this morning. Andrea, Niagara Falls, good morning to you. And let's see who's number 3 on the hit parade this morning. Sandy. You got a trick, Sandy, to get right in there. Kevin, Oshawa, Nativity, good morning. Lori Lee from Ventura, California. Faye, good morning. Janine from West Kelowna. Boy, bright and early this morning. Nick from our staff. Fran, Orangeville. Nellie, good morning. And Wendy from Markham. And Deb, how are you? Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Nancy, good morning from Iowa. Cecilia, sunny New Brunswick. David, Ridgeway. And Donna, how are you? Jeanette, bonjour. Judy, New Brunswick. And Luella, West Tennessee. Heather, Miramichi. We appreciate you guys. And Dave, how are you? And Judy. And Frida, good morning. And Carol, Mount Pearl, Newfoundland. Francis from Vaughan. And Shirley, how are you? And John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois. Cynthia, how are you from Halifax? Margie from beautiful Kansas. And Jocelyn from Baxter. Kathy, Port Perry, Ontario. Yolande, bonjour. Joanne, sunny Berks Falls. I guess the sun is just about out everywhere. Bonnie, Jude from Troy, New York. Nancy said I missed her. Marcy, Suzanne, how are you? And Sue, how are you? Sandy, good morning. Janine, Louisiana, nice having you on. Denise, Oakville. Suzanne, how are you? Couple more guys. Catherine from Newfoundland. There's Rebecca from Calendar. Evangeline, good morning. Carol, good morning. Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Gertie from Burlington, good morning. And Rosalinda said I missed her. Vera, Newfoundland. Chantal from Sudbury. Never heard of that place. Where is that? Dave, sunny Muskoka. Diane, Thunder Bay. Yeah, I guess the sun. Milica, how are you? Jocelyn. Jose, how are you? Donna from Bell Valley. Couple of more guys. Lourdes from Ireland. How are you? Barbara, Atlanta. And Wendy's saying she's going to be in Sudbury. And Beverly, how are you? Okay, guys, let's get going. Betty Lynn from Brantford. Jean, Peterborough. And Francis Marie. Okay, so here's the headline. Or I made this up. Okay? The title of this podcast that we're going to do this morning is Where Has All the Calcium Gone? Okay? Where has all the calcium gone? I could make a song into that. Where has all the calcium gone? Where has it gone? Okay? Now, and the reason I want to bring this out is the correlation. Okay, I'm reading several studies on the correlation between brittle bones, osteoporosis, and atherosclerosis. Now, you know, last week we really went into a dive on atherosclerosis, didn't we? We went into quite a dive. We looked at atherosclerosis. And in the meantime, I've been just sort of looking at studies. And what's interesting is there a real correlation between brittle bones and atherosclerosis. So let's talk about that this morning, okay? Atherosclerosis, by the way, okay? Sclerosis of the arteries. Atherosclerosis, okay? Hardening of the arteries. Isn't it funny? Okay? Here's the paradox. Hardening of arteries and softening of bones. Not supposed to be like that, right? The hardening of arteries and the softening of bones. Now, where has all the calcium gone, okay? So 1 out of 5 women have osteoporosis. 1 out of 5. In their menopausal years. It's not good. Now, the leading cause of disability amongst seniors is osteoporotic spines and hips. Now, I've seen it in other joints. I've seen it in knees. You know, on x-ray, where they're osteoporotic, meaning very little calcium left in the bones. And the correlation between that, calcium out of bones and calcium in your blood vessels, where calcium doesn't belong, okay? Now, medicine has responded by giving out the number one supplement still today. Okay, you would think the number one supplement would be probiotics. Well, it probably should be, but it's not. The number one supplement is calcium. Still today. And, you know, it's too bad. And when and the other thing, so doctors often will recommend calcium supplements. Don't take those. I don't recommend that. Not at all. Okay, I'll tell you what I recommend in a minute. But the other thing is they recommend these drugs for osteoporosis. Not good. Because the side effects of them, first of all, they do not build proper bone. They just don't. I mean, these things have been around a long time. And they really haven't worked at all. And they don't build bone that lasts, first of all. And second of all, the side effects of these medications are legion. Many, many, many side effects. I was reading the other day, and we put this out on an email, that rotting of the jawbone is one of the common side effects of these drugs for osteoporosis. Okay. So, folks, we got a calcium problem. We got a calcium problem. It's calcium in the wrong places. The correlation between osteoporosis and atherosclerosis. It's a calcium problem. And what's happening in our society today is we have much more calcium in our blood vessels than we have calcium in our bones. Calcium's not getting to its intended destination. And that's very dangerous, by the way. Very dangerous. Okay, and that's not just women, but very common in women. Very common in women. So when you're losing bone out of you're losing calcium out of your bones, osteoporosis. That calcium is going somewhere, it seems, and it's not in the right place. And that's in your blood vessels or in soft tissue. It's not good. Okay, so the number one cause of disability among seniors, there's nothing that will take away from your quality of life is when you've got a bad hip, a bad back, bad knees, right? Take away your quality of life, big time. Okay. Now, I want to talk to you about one of the best things you can do. I'll talk about a couple of things, but I want to start off with a vitamin that gets no ink. Vitamin K2. Not vitamin K1, vitamin K2. It's interesting because if you look at the history of vitamin K2, do you know that I think it was 50 or 60 years ago, they didn't even know, the world didn't know that vitamin K2 even existed. They knew about K1, but they didn't know about K2. Now, K1, guys, is found in the plant kingdom. And it's really vitamin K1 is in the plants. And so when you have a salad, you're getting vitamin K1. Is that good for your bones? Absolutely not. It has nothing to do with bones. You're getting calcium. Okay? You're getting some calcium in your salad. But I hate to tell you, it's not getting to the intended destination. Okay? You're going to get some oxalates, but it's not going to get into your bones because it has K1. And K1, I'm not saying K1's no good because you need vitamin K1 even to coagulate your blood. You need vitamin K1. Okay? But when it comes to your bone health and atherosclerosis, which is calcium in the wrong places, you need vitamin K2. Now, hardly anyone talks about that vitamin. I remember 30 years ago, talking about vitamin K2 in Nature on my radio show. The doctor is in a radio program. A long time ago. Talking about, would you stop taking calcium as a supplement? Stop. People thought I had two heads. The most popular supplement in North America is still to this day. Still to this day. This is why this is happening, guys, too. It's every day I got to repeat it, but medicine in general knows nothing about food and nothing about supplements. They really don't. Okay? They know nothing about food and nothing about supplements. They get an hour of nutrition in medical school and certainly less than a half an hour on supplements. To most physicians, supplements are they won't tell you not to take vitamin D. Well, a lot of them would, but some of them, you can take vitamin D, but just never take over 1,000 IUs because you're gonna die. Okay? So why has calcium why is it the number one selling supplement of all time? Because of a misunderstanding of calcium. Guys, what have I always told you? Eat your calcium. Eat it. What? Eat it. When you eat eggs, you get a lot of calcium. Everybody knows that when you eat cheese, dairy, you get a lot of calcium. Everybody knows that, right? You learn that in grade school, probably. Right? So, eggs, meat, and cheese, you're going to get a lot of calcium in eggs, meat, and cheese. Okay? Lots of calcium. But it's calcium surrounded by, vitamin K2. Vitamin K2. Now, why is vitamin K2 essential in nature when you're eating calcium? Okay? Why is that essential? Because, there's two reasons vitamin K2 is so essential. Okay? One is called osteocalcin. Okay? Osteocalcin. It's like a magnet. Okay? It's like a magnet. And osteocalcin it attracts calcium to it. In your osteocalcin in your bones and in your teeth. See these? There's calcium in your teeth, right? That's where it belongs. In your bones, okay? You hear the calcium in my skull? Right? So it's called osteocalcin. That attracts, it's like a magnet. It attracts calcium into your spine, into your skeletal system, and your teeth. Okay, got that? One. The other one is it's a protein, and it's called MGP, capital M, capital G, capital P. I don't want to get into the weeds. I just want to tell you, osteocalcin is a magnet in vitamin K2. MGP is a broom. Okay, you know me, I'm always looking for illustrations in my head. That's the way my head operates. I'm always looking for illustrations. So one is a magnet. You got a magnet in your bones looking for calcium. It's called osteocalcin. The other one is MGP. And what that does, it sweeps calcium out of your blood vessels, out of soft tissue. It doesn't want calcium in there. But you need vitamin K2 to get those two things. That's how vitamin K2 operates. And we don't talk about it. But when you eat cheese, you got calcium with the two things you need. Vitamin K2 is producing osteocalcin, the magnet for calcium, and the broom for calcium. It sweeps calcium out of your blood vessels. So guys, when I tell you, when studies show that when you're losing bone, osteoporosis, when you lose bone, there's a huge correlation to atherosclerosis. Now you're getting that calcium that's hardening your arteries. And you know what the problem is with atherosclerosis, guys? It's you know when they call heart disease like a silent killer? Women, listen, ladies, this is for you for a minute. Ladies, when I was in school, in the days of Noah, heart attacks were for men. Okay? Heart attacks were for men. Women didn't get heart attack. It's not that they never got it. It's just that they never talked about it. When I was in school, heart disease was a man thing. Not anymore. Not anymore. And it's very silent, especially in women, heart disease. Silent, no symptoms. They don't even have high blood pressure. But their arteries are calcifying. That's called atherosclerosis. And menopausal women, premenopause and menopause, are very susceptible to it. And medicine today, they still don't talk about the cause. You know why? Because heart specialists are so ingrained about the boogeyman being cholesterol, they don't talk about calcium. Oh, that's for the orthopedic guys. Osteoporosis, that's orthopedics. And medicine has become so specialized, guys, that they miss the boat. You know, you read these studies on the correlation between osteoporosis and atherosclerosis, and you got to go in a deep dive to even find these things, but there's a huge correlation. It's not cholesterol. It's not cholesterol. Hardening of the arteries is not cholesterol. Blaming the firemen because they're at the scene of a fire. Of course they're there. They're on your side. That's cholesterol. It's on your side. Calcium in your blood vessels? Not so much. You need calcium, by the way, but you don't want it in your blood, hardening your arteries. The key is a vitamin. It's called vitamin K2. It's found in nature, my friend. It's found in nature. It's found in eggs. Calcium and vitamin K2 together. They love each other. Meat, calcium, and vitamin K2. Cheese, calcium, vitamin K2. Isn't that beautiful? In nature, God gave it to you to eat it. That's what's good for your bones and also good for your heart and your blood vessels. Because calcium with vitamin K2 will not stay where it doesn't belong. That's the correlation. Where has all the calcium gone? Well, we live in a day and age, it's like an epidemic of osteoporosis. Calcium out of the bones and into the bloodstream in atherosclerosis. What do you do? What do you do? You got weak bones, Dr. Martin. Don't I need calcium? Nope. Well, you do, but you want to eat it. You don't need calcium as a supplement. Eat it. And one, eat your calcium with vitamin K2. Okay? 1. 2, vitamin D. We all know vitamin D is good for your bones. Okay? So get in the sun. 100%. Everybody's telling me this morning it's sunny out. Well, go get your 10,000 IUs. 20 minutes of the sun. Get out there. Yep. And if you have osteoporosis, you want to take vitamin D with K2. That's why we put K2 in our vitamin D. Because calcium, everybody knows that vitamin D helps with bones. Everybody knows that. Even doctors. That's all they know. They limit vitamin D, by the way, almost all of them, to, it's all right for your bones, okay? But don't take too much, you're gonna die. Okay? But vitamin D with K2 is essential. So eat your calcium with vitamin K2. Eggs, meat, and cheese. That's why I love dairy. I never tell people, because dairy gets a bad rap, but I'm not into that. I'm switch dairy. Don't ditch it, switch it. Okay? I have these expressions, and I've had them for a long time. Don't ditch your dairy, switch it. You need dairy. You need it. Okay. So 1, food. 2, vitamin D with K2. Okay? Vitamin D with K2. And, I've talked to you a lot in the past about the importance of vitamin D, by the way, and heart disease. Okay? Your heart and your blood vessels, remember what I tell you all the time. You're a human solar panel. Okay? You're a human solar panel. Every cell in your body is looking for vitamin D. It's amazing. They don't teach you that in medical school. Imagine. You're a human solar panel. Your heart even. Your mitochondria. Your battery packs within your heart are looking for the sun. Your immune system. Your circulatory system. Eat calcium with vitamin K2. Okay? Take your vitamin D with K2. Really important for bones and your blood vessels. Exercise if you have osteoporosis. You need the real vitamin E. Exercise. And for your bones, guys, I talk to you about getting strong all the time. I don't care if you're 80 years old, get stronger. get stronger. Do everything you can to get stronger. Muscles will save your bones. Muscles will save your bones. They're anchors. And the more you anchor in with muscle strength, the more it attaches itself into that bone. Muscles attach into those bones, and the bone responds by getting stronger because it has to anchor. It's an anchor, guys. Get stronger. Do what you can to get stronger. That is so key for osteoporosis and atherosclerosis. Get stronger, guys. It really makes a difference. Okay. I just thought I'd bring you that this morning. I get excited about research that's out there and how little it's talked about. The correlation between osteoporosis and atherosclerosis. Where has all the calcium gone? Okay. Okay, guys, we got a great week, as you know. And Friday is what? Question and answer Friday. My American friends are asking me if I'll be on tomorrow, July 4th, and I will say yes. We're planning on doing a live tomorrow morning, okay? And get your questions in, guys. I love when you question. Ask questions, okay? Question and answer. A lot of these things come out of questions, by the way. Because you know how many times I get asked, Doc, can I take calcium as a supplement? I get asked that all the time. Because my doctor wants me to take calcium or wants me to take these bone-building medications. What do you think of them? Okay? I get asked that all the time. Okay, I'm breathing. Okay, guys, we enjoy you. Thank you for coming on. Share this. A little bit of housekeeping. Share. Okay? So by the end of the day, we'll be up near 10,000 views of this live, this podcast. Okay? Tell folks about the Doctor Is In podcast on their favorite smart device. Okay? Tell them and share. Guys, that's how this works, by the way. It's our audience that makes this show so popular. And tell your friends about it. Because they're often going to get information they just will not get in mainstream, guys. They just won't do it. Okay. We love you. We talk to you soon.